decrease the influence of Obama on the Democratic Party?
Nope. No, I don't think so. No, hold on.
Coming out hot.
Let me explain here.
Yeah.
Oh, Barack Obama will have weight in the Democratic Party until the day he dies. He is the Democratic Party. If you put them in a machine that brought ideas into real life, it would be Barack Obama. He is half black, half white, somewhat lies about caring about progressive policy, and then focuses entirely on the economy and capitalism as a whole. And he was the first black president. They're never, ever going to let that go. He's never going to lose that title. He will always be the first black president. And not only that, he saved this country from the worst economic recession in about a century. So not only was he a black president, but little kids saw him as a black superhero saving the country when they were growing up.
Oh, okay, let me jump in real quick.
Never losing that.
Let me jump in real quick because I was the one that brought up this topic, and let me give a little bit more perspective. Basically, Mr. Hope and Change has been the biggest preventer of change since he has left the presidency. The first time was with Keith Ellison when he was literally on a call with delegates. So if you're a regular delegate and you're getting a call from the president of the United States and he tells you to vote for Tom Perez, I'm pretty sure you're going to vote for Tom Perez. So he influenced to get Keith Ellison not to become the DNC chairman. And then, as we all know, recently he consolidated all the moderates to help his man Biden get the nomination. And the biggest change maker would have been Bernie. He's the most radical, and he just squashed that. So I'm thinking, how in the world can we find a way to decrease his influence? Now, I totally hear what you're saying, Felipe, but I want to just take it back a little bit. I'm going to show this.
If American workers are being denied their right to organize and collectively bargain when I'm in the White House, I'll put on a comfortable pair of shoes myself. I'll walk on that picket line with you as President of the United States.
As President of the United States. So as you see there, come on, he this was before he was president. Change we can believe in. 8 years, no marching with unions. Go ahead, Carlito.
Thinking about what Felipe just said, and it just told me, it came into my mind that the issue that we have with a lot of black voters and is seeing what we see with Obama, we're going to see with Kamala Harris, which is these people run and they use their own ascension as a way to show, like, see, everybody, we can all do it. And all the African-American voters, they see that as success. But once they get into a position of power, they don't actually do things to help everybody achieve that success. So they make people think that their achievement is everybody's achievement or the whole race's achievement. And I think that is detrimental because we don't get a lot of substantial change. And it reminds me a little bit of something I was reading about John Lewis, which is when Clinton was speaking when he died, he was saying like, we were a little danger of going the Stokely Carmichael's way, but John Lewis saved that. So it was like we almost had some radical that actually want to change versus somebody that was used to be a radical, but once he got into power, he kind of got co-opted by the machine. The only way to really decrease the power of Obama is to have another candidate that's of a minority that actually reaches, a high level VP, president, whatever, but actually focuses on the people and not just so much like, look at me, I'm a symbol of change. How about real change? And I think that's the only way we could like cut that out a little bit.
Here's what's going to happen, right? So you got the Bush legacy, you have the Clinton legacy, and then you have, even when you always look at Obama, you always look to him about, saving my legacy. We are going to leave the Democratic Party. We know that. So it's not, so Obama could stay the Democratic Party. When you look at people, and yeah, it's going to be harder. We're talking, it may take us 10 years, 8, 10, 12 years to that. But we know the Democratic Party doesn't longer represent us. We know that Obama Like as much as people, we have, like you mentioned, with African American voter, or even Latino voter, that's their golden boy, right? God forbid you say anything bad about Obama and you try to challenge people when it comes to policy. So it's not about, we know that they are going to try to do everything they can to save their legacy and keep going on the Democratic Party. But we're just going to end up leaving them. These people seen it. People no longer is drinking that Kool-Aid that they've been drinking for so long. And people are waking up. People are finally realizing, like, slowly, but there is a good amount of people out there that don't believe everything that Obama sold them. Obama sold us a lot of change. A lot of us voted for him, believe in him. But we see it with the speeches that he makes now. Like, we don't believe him.
Obama is everything that's wrong with the progressive movement. It's somebody who says all the right words, proves that a progressive can win because he ran as a progressive. So he proves he is the epitome of a progressive candidate, destroying the establishment, winning. He was Bernie or Bernie. He was the one that was going to come in, change the world, and he wasted it. He got a supermajority in both houses of Congress.
2 years.
And when it came down to negotiation, he wasn't negotiating for the American people. He was negotiating against us. At the end of the day, he was a moderate Republican. It's terrible, and it really hurt our movement because for all the success that a progressive incumbent or progressive insurgent candidate can win, it was just wasted. And it just shows that most politicians are just going to be self-serving and serving to corporations. So it really hurt us a lot. And I feel particularly bitter about it as somebody who voted for him twice, and it sucks. But going back to the question, how do we reduce his influence? We'll never get rid of his influence. He's untouchable to a lot of people, but to reduce it is just elect more real progressives to Congress on the local level that can really start pushing change. And rather than reduce his influence, once the tides shift, once they see that they're on the losing team and he can't pull a power move to come and stop us, he'll come around. He's already, when he saw the wind was blowing towards Bernie, at one point he was saying there's a lot of good ideas like Medicare for all. He was just playing both sides. But he was able to block Bernie with the Joe Biden backing and endorsement and making everybody proud. But yeah, the only way to decrease his influence, or one of the only, is to elect more real progressives that are going to fight for us.
Yeah, he came around on gay marriage too.
Yeah, so I was just going to say that I agree with electing real progressives, and then also just talking about it with our friends, our family. Hopefully, I'm really hopeful that Obama was the last president that could ever really benefit from an uninformed and disengaged populace, pretty much. I mean, we started with Bush back in 2000. We started to wake up a little bit, but we went back to sleep again with Obama because we felt like, maybe this is a back to normalcy presidency with a Democrat who really cares about the poor and working class and will lead this country back in the right direction and all that. But, I've learned a lot about Obama's record after the fact, after he left office, through reading up on it and also through just chatting with the people right here in this group. I mean, we've learned a lot from each other. So I think the more we talk about it with our friends and family, the more we can help them understand that he wasn't the progressive president that we needed or that we even thought he was. Not to say that every politician that doesn't give us exactly what we want is immediately canceled, but at the same time, I mean, we can't be immortalizing all these presidents who fall completely short either.
Those talking points sound familiar to you? Like, if you look at those talking points, it's like word by word what they're telling us now with Biden, right?
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Progressive candidates, tickets ever. Oh, Biden is so he's all about the people. We're going to go back to normal. We just, it's like, it's like the same talking point from like 16 years ago.
So let me talk a little. We talked a little bit about his legacy during his presidency. I'm going to talk real quick about post-presidency. He got money from Wall Street for speeches, about $400,000. Like when it was like a month after he left. Nah, I don't think it was a month. It was probably like within 6 months of him leaving the presidency. But he got $400,000 from Wall Street for speeches. Then he is blaming young people for not voting. And then he's also preventing progressives from getting power, which is what I mentioned earlier. That's his post-presidential legacy and more. I'm sure there's more that I'm not even touching on right now.
If you look at, who was that? Who was the minute he left office, who did he go on vacation with?
Exactly. Richard Branson.
So that tells you everything you need to know. Like,